Hello my friends and welcome to this video regarding the Tales series. If you've never been a fan of the series or if you were ever curious about it, well, now's a good time to get in it because of the release of Tales of Graces R. Well, Tales of Graces F remastered. But anyway, Tales of Graces remastered, Tales of Graces F remastered, whatever. Even some of the ones that never been released, the ones that are Vita, they're available for perusal. I'm not gonna tell you how to get it, but you're on the internet. Look it up. Anyway, like I said, if you really want to get into a series, well, now's a good time to get in it. Because here are the 10 best Tales JRPGs for beginners ranked. Brought to us by the good people at Game Rant. So here's the summary. Tales of Fantasia introduced real-time combat in JRPGs, setting new standards in this genre in 1995. Eternia offers a blend of captivating story and accessible combat mechanics for retro JRPG fans. Arise, as one of the latest entries, provides polished graphics and refined gameplay, ideal for newcomers. This much is true, and I have all three of these games. The Tales of franchise is one of the most iconic in JRPGs, pioneering by adopting real-time combat mechanics instead of the traditional turn-based systems of the time. With thrilling stories, lively battles, and visuals reminiscent of beautiful anime, through these elements, the series has always managed to deliver consistent experiences for players. And among so many games, some are suggested for longtime fans, but still the best tales of for newcomers are those that provide user-friendly mechanics and engaging stories for those getting accustomed to the systems. Thus, these games feature immersive combat and easily relatable narratives, offering an ideal gateway for those seeking to further engage the franchise. Starting with 10. And, well, it's the one that started it all. Fantasia. Pioneering JRPG with action-based combat system. And it came out on SNES, PS1, Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, PSP, and iOS. December 15th, 1995, brought to us by Bamco and Nintendo. Released in 1995 for Super Nintendo, Fantasia set new standards in the JRPG genre by introducing the LIMB system, Linear Motion Battle System, LIMB, allowing real-time battles on a two-dimensional plane. This unique mechanic provided an engaging and lively experience, standing out from the traditional turn-based battle systems of the time. The story follows Cress Albane and his allies on an epic quest across time to stop the sorcerer Daus, addressing deep themes such as friendship and sacrifice, detailed graphics, and an orchestral soundtrack that perfectly captures the emotion of the story, enhance the immersion, making Fantasia a must-see reference for fans of classic JRPGs and also a starting point for those wanting to understand the series' foundations. And for those who really don't know, this series has gone through a lot, and I repeat, a lot of changes because of the journey. It had some funny moments that were cut out, and it had some dark moments that had to be toned down. Like, for one, the Super Nintendo version has this, as you can see here, in which the first team before Cress's team actually takes on Dallas, they're going through. They had to change up a couple of things. Most likely, they had to change up the language. And let me tell you, the Tales of series had gone through a lot of changes. Now, if you're like me, you grew up with the PS2, yeah, there were a lot of Tales games that basically went through a lot of those changes. But mostly for this one, they had to do a bit of tweaking, especially in the one for GBA and PS1. The PS1 version is probably the superior version because it's uncut. Versus versus any other version, it's edited or cut. But if you really want to get the full version, it's the PS1 version. Number 9, Eternia, which is the sequel of Destiny. Released 2001, developed by Wolf Team and Namco Tales Studio. It came out for PS1 and PSP. Eternia captures the essence of classic JRPGs from 90s and early 2000s, establishing itself as a milestone for the Tales of franchise. This title blends a captivating story with accessible real-time combat mechanics defining features of the series. The experience is enhanced by a perfect balance between active combat and extensive environments, creating a nostalgic and impactful adventure. The battle system in Eternia is intuitive, providing an ideal learning curve for newcomers while offering strategic depth for the most experienced players. The story touches on themes like friendship and overcoming challenges, maintaining a captivating pace throughout the adventure across the regions of Infernia and Celestia. The vivid aesthetics and period-specific designs elevate the game to classic must-have status. Number 8 is one I have but never played, and that's Zestria, an open-world approach in the franchise formula. And it's on Steam, PS3, and 4. Brought to us by Bamco. It's Bamco, trust me. And it came out originally on October 19, 2015. And it's going to be on the channel pretty damn soon. Although not entirely open world like some other JRPGs, Zestria features a semi-open structure full of opportunities for players to traverse the map and uncover secrets. While not as expansive as other titles, the game strikes a great balance between linear progression and freedom, allowing newcomers to get accustomed to this element. The story of Zestria also features a simpler plot following the classic structure of a hero-centered story without many plot twists. The ease of following the story, combined with accessible and straightforward gameplay, contributes to the game's beginner-friendly design, making it an excellent choice for players. Number 7. I believe I also have this one. If not, I have to look up getting it. Zydia, which was also on PS3. October 6, 2013, published by Bamco and developed by Namco Tales Studio. One of the coolest aspects of Zydia is that the game allows experiencing the story from two different perspectives, either as Jude or Milla. As this choice leads to some changes depending on which character is selected as a protagonist, Jude in particular is better for newcomers as he introduces the setting's foundation, while Milla provides additional details. And if you can't realize this, the very first game that introduced this was Tales of Destiny, because Tales of Destiny had two protagonists. Furthermore, the story of Zilla maintains a good pace, effectively incorporating action scenes, character development, and world building, keeping the game consistently engaging for those following it. The combat is also swift and smooth, providing a progression that aligns with the player's growth over time. And number 6 is the one game that has been hot ever since its re-release, which is Tales of Graces F Remastered. It's on PS5 for Xbox XS, Xbox One, Switch, and Steam. And it's only been a full ass week. Yeah, that's right. It's only been out a week. So, January 17th this year. Developed by Tose and published by Bamco. Initially released for Wii and enhanced for other platforms through the remastered version, Graces F stands as one of the best gateways for those looking to get acquainted with the Tales of franchise or venture into the JRPG universe. The game blends an intriguing narrative focused on friendship and overcoming challenges, creating an immersive and inviting experience for beginners. The real-time combat system, based on chain capacity, is intuitive and offers a perfect balance between simplicity and depth. This makes learning for newcomers while keeping the challenges engaging for wanting to expand their strategic approach. Combined with a remastered visual and gameplay enhancements, Graces F delivers a memorable and accessible experience for new players. And now we go to 5, in which a series in which I actually had this on PS2. Abyss. Tales of the Abyss. Originally PS2, PS3, and Nintendo 3DS. Released October 10th, 2006. Developed by Namco Tales and published by Bamco. The Tales of franchise is renowned for its lively combat and engaging stories, and Tales of the Abyss is one of the best starting points for those just beginning. Through a compelling narrative and memorable characters, the game provides an experience that balances depth and accessibility, ideal for capturing the attention of new players throughout the adventure. One of the key reasons Abyss is so beginner-friendly is its straightforward gameplay paired with the character development of Luc Fonfabre. The real-time combat system is easy to learn, yet it features layers of strategy for more dedicated players. In addition, the gripping themes of identity and redemption ensure you'll remain hooked from beginning to end, leaving a lasting impression on any RPG enthusiast. It is one of those games that I honestly never beaten, because that's the thing with me and the Tales series. It's like it's one of those series that, for some strange reason, I somehow lose interest. And I don't know why that is. It's the same thing with Star Ocean. It's like I'm into it, then all of a sudden I just simply lose interest in it. Because I think it's because if it gets into a slog to where I would have to go into side quests. I think that's what it is. I think it's the side quest that just kind of slogs. That just makes it turn into a slog. Which it shouldn't be like that, but it usually is. It usually ends up like that. Like, if you didn't do this by now, then you should do this by now. And I'm like, what? Why do I have to do a side quest now if I'm so far in? Unless if the side quest is going to offer more experience for me, or it's going to give me double experience, or it's going yeah, I'm going to benefit something from it, you know? Number 4 on the list, Bizarria. I have this on Steam as well. Thank you, Symphonia. Which came out only on PS4 and Steam. January 24th, 2017, developed and published by Bamco. With its dark emotional themes, Bizarria stands out as one of the most mature entries in the series. Delving into Velvet Crow's gripping quest for vengeance, the game tackles deep themes and moments of anguish, setting itself apart from the lighter tone of other titles in the series, but without losing balance by incorporating moments of relief. Even with its more serious approach, Bizarria maintains the accessible mechanics that are the franchise's hallmark, combining fluid and lively combat with a story that captivates from start to finish. The title is recommended both for curious newcomers and for veterans seeking a JRPG that delivers an intense and engaging narrative without sacrificing the series' traditional elements. This one, number 3. A game in which I say I really, really want to go back to doing because there was 2 reasons why. For one, I had this on Xbox. And the version I had was like the core version. It wasn't the remaster version, but it was a core version. And I remember I was right at the end. And just as I was about to get up to the end, my save data got corrupted. And then when I had and I still have the PS4 version. And when I was recording it, and how it was with the PS4 version, I said, there was something cut out. I think it was one battle that was cut out. And again, it kind of like said, you know what? I need to redo this. I honestly do need to redo this. It's just not right if I don't play it over and get everything in. Like, everything was like 2 parts, and I just didn't like the 2-part thing. Especially when it came down to the dungeons. Some dungeons were longer than others, but I wanted to get all of the dungeon in. And if I needed to cut out a few parts, well then so be it, but I really wanted to get mainly that main focus on the dungeons, because it kind of felt tedious with some of the dungeons being the way they are. And I can say that for another one I did but never finished, which was Destiny. And it's obvious why I never finished Destiny. My last computer blew up right before I was going to get the last part done, and and I didn't realize it blew up. It's like so yeah, this came out on the 360, the Xbox One, the Switch, the PS3, the 4, and Steam. August 7th, 2008. Developed and published by Bamco. One of the main highlights that make Tales of Vesperia an excellent choice for players wanting to start in the franchise is the protagonist, Yuri Lo. In addition to the main character, the other companions who join the party also make this game one of the best action RPGs for those who enjoy swift combat with an equally strong narrative. Another major draw of the game is its real-time combat, accessible yet with enough depth for those wanting to expand their strategies. The engaging story, full of twists and good characters, makes the experience memorable for even beginners. These elements, combined with charming graphics, and an epic soundtrack solidify Vesperia as a must-have classic. I'll say one thing about it. The one character that nobody could actually stand is Esteliz. That's the only thing. Out of all the female the female protagonist in the Tales series, I found her to be like the most annoying of all the female protagonists in the Tales series. You know, as far as the lead goes, or the support in this case, it's like, really, could you all do us a favor and shut up, Esteliz? It's like the fact that she kept droning on and on and on about Flynn. And the fact that she can be as smart as, say, Wikipedia herself. But the only drawback is that when she goes on and on about Flynn, it just like, you know what? Gimme Judy. So can we swap her out and let Judy be the lead, please? Let her be the support lead for the protagonist, please. I mean, you know, maybe that's just me, but, you know, I honestly would say, yeah, can we have that instead? Number 2. Oh, God, number 2. This was the one game I basically had to just say, you know what, I got to beat this. And that's Symphonia. Considered one of the best games in the series and should not have a sequel. Dawn of the New World. If you never heard of that, it was on Wii. But I can tell you this: Dawn of the New World is not as good as the original one. Actually, Dawn of the New World should not have been a sequel to Symphonia. It should have been its own game. It should have been like Tales of the New World or something. You know, that would have made better sense than say what they did here. It doesn't make sense. Never made sense. Don't even like it. And this came out on Steam, PS2, 3, and GameCube. And keep in mind, the version that I did was the PS3 version. The Steam version that they put out was the PS3 version. And the only thing that was different about it was there was a password that was that depending on which version you had, it was totally different. Symphonia is the franchise's best game for players wanting to see all potential the series has to offer, blending excellent combat for a JRPG with incredible character development. Thus, it's possible to embark on a grand quest to not only save one's own world, but also a parallel reality. That's the one thing I did like about that. Therefore, for those looking for a good Tales of game to start off with, this title has all the necessary elements to delight players. Combat smooth with mechanics that keep it engaging throughout all the encounters presented by the narrative, and players can also customize characters in a variety of ways to make the party unique. So yeah, this came out August 29th, 2003, and it was my first Tales game. Symphonia was my first Tales game because I had both a PS2 and a GameCube back in the day. So I had the PS2 version. I have pretty much. Well, you know what? Let me finish this, then I'll go in with what I have. The last one, Arise. And this came out September 10th, 2021. It came out for the PS4, 5, Steam, and Xbox. Brought to us by, well, Bamco. Being one of the most recent games in the series, Arise is also the best entry point for fans wanting to begin their experience within the franchise's universe. Here, players take on the role of Alphen, who joins Xion to confront the oppressors dividing the peoples. This game also features scenes created by UFO Table, adding even more quality to the animations. Furthermore, as a newer game, it boasts more polished graphics than other titles in the franchise, making it a true visual delight. Additionally, the refined gameplay, especially the combat, works very well for those who enjoy solid action JRPGs. Makes this title excellent for anyone looking to try out a Tales game. So, as I said before I actually end this video, like I said, I started off with Symphonia. And most of what I had were the following. I had Symphonia, Legendia, Abyss. I think that's all they were going for. But I had those three games, which was those three, and then the fourth one I had was Dawn of the New World, and then after that, Vesperia. The Vesperia I had was a 360 version, and then there was the definitive version for PS4 and Steam. And I've since had more Tales games thanks to the internet. So therefore, oh hey, do I want to dive into other games like Innocence, Hearts, Rebirth? Because truth be told, I'm working on Rebirth as we speak. So I am not putting out just quite yet until, say, I have a good amount of videos to say, oh, well, it's good enough. Let's slap it up there. But yeah, as far as this is concerned, it's a pretty solid list, and I do enjoy a good Tales of game. So therefore, you know, if you're like me and, you know, you have a thing for something like Tales or Ys, now's a good time to get into it. Because really, as far as how this list goes, being, you know, the top 10 of Tales games you can ever run into, well, I would say, as far as this is concerned, it's a pretty solid list. I mean, if you put in the first one that started it all off, it has to be on there. I would add in there the ones that we never really gotten, like Hearts, Innocence, Rebirth. I will also say Destiny DX. Now, despite that, I'm like it had two stories. So therefore, Zelia picked up what Destiny had. So that's why I mentioned Destiny, because Destiny had two protagonists. So you could play on one side this character Sten, or I think his name is Sten, or you can play the other one. But his story isn't as long as Sten's story. Actually, you get more of a full story with him than say the second protagonist, because it's like his story ends at say 70%, whereas if you're playing with this character, you're getting the full 100. But here's like you play up to 70%, versus you play with the main, you're getting all of the story. So there's that. But you know what? I can constantly say, yeah, this is a great list. And if you want more out of this, I suggest you start looking for something, something that is considered a great RPG, not just Tales, but something, I feel if you can expand yourself as far as playing JRPGs are concerned, and not just say, well, I like this and I like this. No, expand. Just try out different games that have not been touched, and not the ones that we know about, but the ones that have not been ever mentioned. And play the original version, not just the version that this version, it's hard. No, not the hard version, the as-is version. Totally different. It's the reason why I'm doing restored games on my channel, because basically the restored versions basically change up the whole way you play the game as a whole. And it basically gives you a greater understanding of like, why did they take this out? This would have been cool if they kept this in, that sort of thing. But, that's neither here nor there. So therefore, I'm just sharing my 2 cents. But with that, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as you enjoyed any other videos that I have done, be it Let's Plays, or reviews, or otherwise. And please, subscribe to this channel for your daily content, your daily dose of Izzy, and whatever kind of madness I have on this channel. I truly appreciate it, because, well, I can't do this channel without you. Really, I can't. I mean, I can, but, sometimes it's good to hear from the populace what they want to see, within the realm of good taste, by the way. And, hopefully we see each other in the not so far future. And, please share this with your mutuals on your social media, wherever that is. Facebook, Twitter, don't matter. Keep it going. You're helping me out, and you're helping out me wanting to bring more game awareness to the table. So yeah, you're doing God's work, as it were. So until next time, my friends, take care and have a great rest of your week. Be safe out there. Thank you.